Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Hope you're having a good weekend. Um, Ben Shalom has got a lot of flack for the way he's brought along fighters or is bringing along fighters. Pulling some out of purse bids and matching them wrong and so on. However, there are a couple of exceptions. I mean, Natasha Jonas is one who's had an absolute Indian summer of a career with Sky. And the other one is Adam Azim, because Adam Azim is 21 years old, an absolutely huge light welterweight. I mean, super lightweight if you prefer. And he's now the EBU super lightweight champ after only 10 fights at the age of 21. A fantastic achievement. Now, he beat a good European level fighter who was the champ, Franck Petitjean from France. Petitjean, 35 years old. Someone who's really maximised the talent that he has, because he turned pro in 2010 with a 4-round draw against a guy who was 1-1. He spent most of his time fighting in France. He came into the Azim fight with 24 wins, only 6 KOs, 6 defeats, only one by stoppage, and that was back in, I think, 2014. So the guy's a good European level operator, and certainly a good test for a 21-year-old kid having only his 10th fight. But Adam Azim totally dominated Petitjean, and the rounds were, I guess you'd say, repetitive. Petitjean, lots of feints, herky-jerky movements, trying to get on the inside of this enormous, tall, long-armed opponent, and he just couldn't do it, to be honest with you. The rounds clicked by. Azim was keeping him on the outside, popping him, being a bit cautious. You could argue that he was a little bit too conservative and didn't go through the gears enough. Certainly in the 5th round, he scored a knockdown, Azim did. He threw a very sort of tight left hook around the corner, around the arm, onto the rib, the floating rib, and put Petitjean on the floor. It was almost like he placed the punch on him, put it there, rather than just snapping it. But it had the desired effect. Petitjean went down, got up, fought back, but as the rounds ticked by, it was one-way traffic, and gradually, from about the 8th, 9th onwards, you got the feeling Azim was beginning to sort of go through the gears, was being a little bit more open, a little bit more determined. And in the 10th round, the body language of Petitjean changed. He was retreating. He was actually fleeing, whereas before he'd been quite content to maybe sit on the ropes and slip punches and dodge and bob and weave. You got the impression he was fleeing, and he just looked ragged. And Azim trapped him on the ropes. It wasn't one punch that put him over. It was an accumulation of punches on an exhausted, beaten-up fighter, not just a beaten fighter, but a beaten-up fighter. And Petitjean went down, and the towel quite rightly came in to prevent him from any further punishment. It was a 10th round TKO for Adam Azim, much deserved. They talk about fast-tracking fighters. I mean, at 21 and only 10 fights, Azim is being fast-tracked. But then he's got Shane McGuigan in his corner, and Shane does like to give his fighters good tests, prepare them well, give them good tests, and then sort of gradually move up quite quickly. They're incremental steps, but quite quickly. And Azim is quite clearly a great talent. He just fires very hurtful punches. He likes to be on the outside, pick his moments, pick his spots. By the end of the fight, he was unloading and firing salvos of punches. And Petitjean just had no answer. And he was kind of ground down. Like I say, he was beaten up. So a very, very good win for Adam Azim. And this was over at the Civic Hall in Wolverhampton. A card put on by Sky that actually came to fruition. They didn't have to go to the York Hall, boil it down and go to the York Hall. This was at the Civic Hall in Wolverhampton. It looked like there was a good, a very, very good atmosphere there. But Azim is flying. If he lives the life, carries on living the life, and does his thing, and listens to his trainer and learns from his experiences, he can definitely be a world-class operator and probably win titles. So did you see this fight? It was the headline, like I say, at the Wolverhampton Civic Hall. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Azim Who do you think he should fight next? He's got the EBU title. Well, actually, we know he's going to fight next because I believe this title was given up by Paulson, Enoch Paulson, yes, who actually I think took step-aside money for Azim to have this fight, and then because he was the champ, he gave it up, and then Petitjean beat Samuel Molina on majority decision, and that's right, yeah. So Paulson is going to fight Azim probably in February, and I think that's a good matchup. Paulson actually won the title off Petitjean, but went the distance. Paulson's from Denmark, by the way. Speaks very fluent English. He was there being interviewed, and I think that's a very good matchup. Paulson himself is only 11-0 in as far as the record's concerned. No, he's not. My mistake. 14, I think. 14 wins. He's only got about 5 KOs, but so he doesn't seem to have as much pop as Azim. And they had a face-off after the fight. They were looking at each other, and I think, as usual, Azim is the bigger man. But Paulson seemed confident. We'll see on fight night how he feels, but I think that'll be a very good fight, and that's scheduled for February. So, well done to Adam Azim. Commiserations to Petitjean. Let me know what you think about Azim. Who should he fight? Well, you know who's going to fight next, but how far do you think he can go? Do you think he can fight at world level? Will a win over Paulson mean he's ready for world titles? You tell me what you think. Leave your comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Please hit the subscribe button. It takes a second. And please hit the like button as well, because they count the likes apparently, so I'm told. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll catch you later, and bye for now.